Lando gave birth at
We
lap
should call this
18.
episode And Then Lando Gave Birth.
This is Paddock 43, the podcast, your weekly rundown giving you all things F1 from both on and off the track.
From races, trades, rumours, the lifestyle, and all the things that come with the F1 world.
We are Amy, Elle, and Pat. Let's get into it.
Hey, how are my best girlfriends?
It's all three of us
Fabulous.
back after a summer break.
Yay. Winter break. Elle, you had summer break.
I had summer.
We did not.
Yeah, we took the break.
We have been miserable in winter.
Apologies to
I'm
our
still
listeners
pretending
that
it's
we
summer.
ended up taking the break.
Right.
We didn't let our listeners know, but we did take the break. I think there's just a lot going on. Elle, you're away. Amy, you're unwell. I've been parenting, and we were like, you know what? We're going to take a break too. And so we did.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we just need that. You just need a little break.
We just need. We back.
And we're back again. We're back again.
We're back again, just like all
Back
the
to
F1 drivers.
annoy
It's actually,
everyone.
and it's good F1's back as well. I feel like I need something else on the weekend just to watch and just to participate in and look at online. And it was honestly like silly season during summer break is supposed to be fun. And there was nothing fun happening.
There
I
was a
kind
few
of like,
things.
Shake it up, guys. Come on, show us something.
It was basically just Carlos being announced to Williams, and then it was nothing.
It was nothing.
And then that was it.
Well, there were a few
No.
And then
team
we just had
principals
Jack
that were
Doohan
announced
being
as
announced
well.
the other day.
Yeah,
It's like,
so
okay.
We saw Audi and Alpine.
Yeah, I mean, but that's
Not as interesting, but-
yes, that's true. Not as interesting. I was also kind of hoping for some, like, you know, some of the gossip mill, you know, the off the track stuff. You know, what's happening in their love lives, what's happening in their romance.
Yeah.
What
But
are
then
they
no one
doing over
posted
summer?
anything for
No.
like the whole month.
Yeah.
Yes.
Until the
Although
end,
for
we were
some
like,
reason on
okay,
my
so that's what you
Explore page,
did.
I saw a lot of
They
Carlos
went
and
silent.
Rebecca.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You
What
know,
were
they're
they
all
up
out
to?
there sitting on yachts in whatever Mediterranean islands they were at.
But
Yeah,
every single
Yeah.
one of them were on a yacht.
I think so.
You know, it was really
Was
funny
Oscar
though.
on a yacht? Did he go on a yacht?
Yeah, I think Oscar was. I did think I saw a photo of him in his dump.
He's dumb.
But in his photo dump, I should say. It was funny to see the differences of their yachts.
Analyzing their
I
yachts.
think
Look at
that's,
this shit
like-
yacht.
Okay.
That,
No, I don't-
That
I
one
don't
wasn't
mean
a
it like that.
marble. Sorry.
No, it was also like, I don't know how to say this without sounding like an absolute cow right now. Okay, but when I visited Monaco for the day, which is just like tourist central, by the way, if you ever want to go there, you cannot move around. It was almost exhausting and like it's horrific to get to as well. They like the yachts you're walking around and you can see the discrepancies in wealth, right? You've got your multi-$100 million yachts and then all the way down to like a little tinny in Monaco. And it's just everything in between. And then I felt like that we saw that from the drivers as well. But like, this sounds so bad. You know, you've got like the Strolls, obviously they're billionaires, right? They're on their massive yacht. But then you had Logan Sargent on this like really like,
I'm going to look right now.
which for us would be a huge yacht going on. But compared to what the other drivers were on, he was on this like small yacht. And I just...
But do you think most of them, like, they would just hire them out, wouldn't they? Like, how many of them actually own
Logan
yachts?
Sargent's yacht looks amazing.
Oh,
Most of them just
no,
hire
they
them.
would, yeah, they would. Yes, but comparison to the
I was
other
like,
one
it's
with the jet
shit.
ski?
And Pat's like, it's amazing.
no, but in,
This is shit
no, I
yacht.
don't think that's the one he was actually on. He was
This
on a
shit
smaller
3-story yacht that
one. And
Logan's on.
I
It's horrible. Oh my god, let me have a
No,
look.
but like,
Oh my god, it's fucking massive.
all right, I sound like an absolute cow, but I'm saying in comparison, and you can just see their different
is-
pay grades of how they spent their summers, and I just think
I
it's an
think
interesting thing.
maybe
to-
after
to
Monza,
look
the
at
yacht
because
that
it's
Logan Sargent will be on
obviously-
next year, maybe even smaller. After the rumour mill.
God, I think he'll be on
Yeah.
one of those little Yeah, one of
For
those
those of
little...
you who
He'll be
don't
in the
know, there are
tinny.
rumours swirling. There are
He'll be on the
rumours swirling
charter
that
boat
Logan
going
Sargent
to...
will not be at Monza next weekend.
Yes.
It wouldn't surprise me after this weekend.
Oh my God. Logan Sargent. I was looking up all his crashes before what he's done this year in 2024. And I was just like, there's no point in even going through this whole list because the poor guy has just... 2024 has not been his year. And now he's not going to be in the 2025 season. He's already been replaced by Carlos Sainz and he's got no seat to go. And what do we have? 3 seats unclaimed at the moment?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, the RB.
We've got the RB, we've got Stake
Stake.
and
RB, Stake.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm not missing
Well, it's not going to be Mercedes.
No, and I just can't see him sticking around. So he will be on that little, what do they call them? Not charter boats, whatever they go on the take you from the yacht. Oh my God,
Sorry.
Pat.
that noise. That was so funny. At least we can edit that out.
We can just
the visual as well of me covering the headphone.
That
was
so
funny.
No.
Pat
is keeping her hydration up clearly because she just took the world's largest sip from her drink.
Oh dear.
That was... I'd need to go to the toilet straight after that.
Yeah.
But Logan, he will be on
back
the
to Logan Sargent.
Back to Logan.
So, Christian Horner. So he's Horny Horner, multiple sources apparently, saying that he's willing to loan out Liam Lawson to Williams to replace Logan. Thoughts, feels.
That's really sad. I'm like, just let the guy enjoy his last 9 races now.
But is it almost kind of
like he won't have a seat? It's like,
but he's
already done the damage. They're already shit enough. Like just let him finish his season.
He's a human after all. It's like, I'm going to loan you my dress for the weekend. Like, oh here, take, like, he's a person. Just take him. I don't want him, so I'll loan him out.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like how contractual it all is.
He is a person, but also should we let him go in peace? Because he has had such a shit year so far. Should we just say, hey, just go before you make it worse for yourself?
Yeah. So we weren't even sure he was going to make it past last season. If you crash again
and do that again, then...
The fact that he even got a seat this season was, shocking.
Well, yeah. I think
and Williams were backing him that whole time.
I think they were probably desperate and no one else was good enough to get that seat to drive their F1 car, even if they, were a rookie and waiting. I think everyone just needed a little bit more practice.
I think Williams is probably why didn't we just get rid of him at the beginning of the season, and it would have just been less bitchy.
Yeah. But then who would have gone into that seat?
They should have put Liam Lawson in. He had exceptional time last year, and it was actually, Dutch Grand Prix last year was when we saw Liam Lawson and Daniel Ricciardo swap seats, because Daniel had obviously had that crash into the corner when he was trying to avoid crashing into Oscar Piastri and broke his wrist just as he came back from summer break. After
that
driving.
Was so sad. Like on TikTok, I had that on this day, and my post was about that crash. I was like, "Oh my god, no! I forgot about that."
Yeah, his little wrist.
Back again. I don't want to.
I was in Barcelona, and I was like, "Do we think I can find him?"
But that's when Liam Lawson showed his colours.
Danny Rick, I can give you some dinner recommendations.
Right. Go to the hospital.
Yeah, from
go
the
to
source.
The hospital and say hi.
Do you have anything to give Paddock 43?
Literally.
Yes. Well, also, and then Huss. There's rumours floating around about Huss not making it to Monza next week. So Huss and Liam Lawson might be sitting back this story. In the sidelines. So for anyone that doesn't know, and I'm going to butcher this name. So they're a fertilizer company and they're a sponsor in 2021.
I think it's just Ural Kali.
Are you able to say it?
Yeah.
Ural Kali. Anyway, they are owed a payment allegedly of $12 million, and Haas have never paid that.
That's a nice payday.
And so Haas is saying that the payment is actually starting to go through, but Uralkali are like, nope, we haven't seen anything, so we're seizing all your assets and you can't leave the country until you pay us. And
yeah, I thought that was hilarious. The fact that they could just be stuck in the Netherlands. They
also,
can't
how's
leave, they can't
the
get
public
out.
shaming as
frozen, you're
well?
done.
Like the
How
public
crazy is
shaming of
that?
like, you haven't paid your bills. It's so sad for Haas.
But $12 million and to not pay that since 2021.
Literally.
I don't understand how a company gets around that. That's a lot of financial years.
Yeah, and how have they gotten so far without paying it? Like, that is a very long time. Do they have to pay interest on it?
Why this weekend?
Well,
I have so many questions.
Are they a
That's a good
Dutch
question, actually.
A late fee?
And are they a Dutch
I think
company?
they've just cracked it.
Is that why they're able to
No,
hold
I think-
hold them?
I don't know what their origin is. I'm pretty sure they're actually a Russian company, from my sources online on Google, aka Google is my source. But yeah,
I like how they've they
Interesting.
could have easily
Maybe
asked
they just need the money.
or done something about it, not in the spotlight. But I like. Oh, they probably have actually. If they've been owed money since 2021.
They probably have for a long time. Yeah. And now they've cracked the shits. Hey, I cracked the shits.
Haas just ignoring their emails. They're like, let's move it to spam. So then the only way they can get through to them is like,
good.
we're going to publicly call you out. And then maybe they'll respond to the emails.
It's just interesting that a team can get away for so long without paying a sponsor. That money that is owed, and a team that is also very small and doesn't have a lot of money to start with, and they're not exactly winning any money or bringing in those sponsors. So it's going to be interesting if they actually make sponsor. I mean,
there'll be someone that will bail them out.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
And what an embarrassment
I can't
for
see
them.
them not.
Yeah, what an embarrassment for them
They'd
as
probably
well.
have great lawyers. And then imagine the repercussions. Like, it could be harder for them to gain new sponsors. Like, their sponsors now could get really pissed off and be like, well, what sort of a client are you?
That's a huge point. Huge point. Why would you want to work with someone if you know that they haven't paid you that amount of money?
Imagine if another sponsor's like, actually, now we're holding your assets at Monza because you haven't paid us. And then another sponsor will come and be like, we're holding your assets. Oof.
It'd be interesting.
There must be there must be a certain time frame of when they have to pay it, because they wouldn't just go 3 years without paying. It must be like they had 2 years to pay and they haven't, and now it's all coming to light.
I love it though. I love it.
Going on.
I have no idea. Oh well.
Good luck to you, Haas.
R.I.P. Haas. Wishing you the best of luck. Enjoy.
But Jack Doohan signing, that's exciting. 3 Aussies on the grid next year if Daniel Ricciardo stays.
I feel like he will.
I think he's going to be fine. I think he's staying.
I was at a this event a couple of weeks ago with like Melbourne Storm and Maserati, and a certain someone was speaking there, and he mentioned 3 Aussies on the grid, and I was like, I'm going to read between the lines here. Like, I think Daniel's staying. Because he didn't mention anything about there only being 2.
Well, also people keep calling Valtteri Bottas our Aussie, so you never know if that third one actually means Valtteri or not. So there'll be three regardless if it's going to be Daniel or Valtteri. It'll be the third.
Yeah, literally. I know, it's just
see.
so good to have a
Ollie
rookie
as
sign.
well next year.
We just need another rookie to sign. True, and hopefully Kimi.
Yeah, well, Kimi's likely.
Didn't Toto Wolff basically come out and blurb it out that he hopes Kimi and George work well together next year, like something along those lines?
I'm still just bummed that Carlos isn't in that Mercedes seat. I'm like, what a waste, what a waste. Anyway, moving on. Elle, you had something to say.
Oh, I was just going to say that I'll just never be able to look at Kimi still the same after my video.
Which one?
I told you about. I think I told you, Pat, about it. The one where I drunkenly went up to Kimi and I was asking him.
Oh, no,
questions.
yeah.
Oh, was
yeah,
I telling you,
that.
Amy? I can't remember who I was telling. When I was drunk in the paddock and I was like, Kimi. And I like put my camera, I was like, I asked him some question and then I repeated the question again and he sort of looked at me like, what? and the whole thing is really
What are you
embarrassing.
He'll be like
It's
you
just an
when you come up
embarrassing
to him again.
moment. Anyway, it's not unlike me to have an embarrassing moment. Stock
Who would have
standard.
thought?
Very stock standard moments. Let's move on.
Standard procedure.
Moving on to the top moments from the weekend.
What did you guys think about the race?
Oh,
yep.
I was about to say one random thing. Just even though we were just talking about motorcycles before and motorcycle accidents, did you see the motorcycle accident that happened this weekend?
No. Do I want to see it? No.
So like during I think it was before qualifying, they were doing tricks.
I was going to say, for context, we should say why we're talking about motorcycles.
We have some fun stuff.
Elle's very excited.
To do with motorcycles.
Yeah, Elle, the only one that can represent.
Except only one person's going.
Which is...
Because we're away.
Which is why we were talking about motorcycles. Yes, we've got something exciting happening at Phillip Island soon, which I'm like...
And Elle was talking about her fear of motorcycles. Now she doesn't want to go on a motorcycle.
Would love it, but we're both away.
I'd love to go on.
Whole
does that mean you get to wear the big padding and everything? That'd be so much fun.
I mean, I'll put that on.
I was like, no.
I'll put that on.
Pardon?
And I'll
get the photo.
Put the suit on and I'll stand next to the motorbike. I just have a fear of motorbikes. I just like the idea of being also.
And I was thinking that, are you
am I
taller
like
than the average motorcycle
sit on a motorbike
driver?
With a professional driver? Yeah, like how would they fit me on if they're like 5'8" or I just don't know if I'd fit. Anyway, what happened?
They would have to have certain drivers. Basically before I think it was qualifying, they were doing like the motorcycle jumps.
Oh yeah,
like the big ramps that just casually, and the guy missed his landing, and basically came off the bike and was like, he's okay now. But was like unresponsive on the ground, and they had to like bring in the ambulance and tent everything.
Well, you won't be on any
It
ramps.
It looked scary. I was like, Jesus. But then it's like, no ramps, no jumping tricks. But then it got me thinking. I was like, is there something to do with what is it with the Netherlands Grand Prix and these pre-shows not going to plan?
Yeah,
like wasn't it the guy last year, the jetpack last year, and Oscar's face?
I forgot.
Yeah.
I think it goes off there. Friend of the podcast, Haley, she was at the Dutch Grand Prix and I was watching her stories over the weekend and it was freaking wild. Like, it looks amazing.
It looks so much fun.
The entertainment, even when Lando crossed the finish line, and we'll get into the moments after this.
Fireworks.
But the fireworks that go off, it's awesome. They just have this sort of spectacle about it, which is really cool. I mean, I didn't see that that sort of stuff at Silverstone. But Lando, the best moments of the week, let's touch on them. Lando was obviously number one.
Lando.
Yeah, I did for a moment think like, oh no, we're back to regular programming. Verstappen's going to win. And then he had such an amazing overtake.
And then just drove off into the abyss.
So that was my thinking with it. I mean, overall, the whole race was fairly stock standard, boring. Nothing really happened. There wasn't a huge amount of overtakes. There was a little bit more happening on the back end of the grid. But Max overtook Lando in that first turn one, just as they started. Lando, obviously, he just faltered.
No,
he
looked
did not
like he was half
his
asleep.
reaction was just there. He was not prepared for it. But he won by...
Yeah, he had too much... Yeah.
He won by 22.9 seconds, right? But it took him until lap 18 to overtake Max. Why did it take him so long to overtake Max? Yes, it was when he got DRS, but...
He was asleep.
He just had a snooze. Yeah, and then as soon as he overtakes him, then he just drives off. And I'm like, well, if you had that speed the whole time, why couldn't you do it
Max
earlier?
Is
my thoughts.
More of an experienced driver than Lando. Or skilled. Yeah.
So you reckon his defense was just up there?
Yeah, I don't want to say experience, but probably more of a skilled driver than Lando.
So I didn't even feel like he was defending that hard, to be entirely honest.
Yeah, I feel like Max just kind of let him through.
Yeah, but
maybe
why did it take him so long to get that distance? Like to do that and then to shoot off into the stars.
A secret bet. I don't know. Maybe it's just like, it's kind of like any sport. Like if you're watching a 400 meters and then second place comes through and wins in the last 50 meters. You're like, well, why did it take you that long? It's just, it took him that long to maybe just gain the momentum to be able to do it.
Yeah, I understand that. But I just feel like
I just had another analogy.
18, and then he had the rest of the race.
Like when I was giving birth.
Cool, go.
And they say push, and you like, and then you push, and you think like, I don't have anything else to give, and then you go like, oh, and push even more. And you're like, wow, I didn't realize that I had that in me, but you've got it in you.
It just has to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just has to be the right moment.
Okay, so that's when he gave birth.
So maybe it was just the right moment.
Gave birth.
So
Lando
gave
basically
birth.
is like when Pat was pushing.
Yeah. Lando gave birth at
we
lap 18.
should call this episode, and then Lando gave birth.
Easy, that makes sense. At lap 18.
But I mean, I'm glad at least they both finished the race, because imagine if it was another race where they were really fighting for the lead.
Yeah.
And they both DNF.
Yes, so second moment of the week for us, definitely.
Do you know what I was thinking about was like coming back to Hungary Grand Prix before the break and Oscar Piastri winning.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that this isn't a drivers' championship. We're talking about the differences between constructors' championship. But what if Lando won that race?
Yeah. I honestly think we'll probably get to a point where it will be if Lando 100%. Won that race, he could have won the driver championship.
Yep. So even though I know we all had our views on that, and
can you imagine how pissed they're going to be?
Yeah, I think it's something to consider, and I think seeing how well McLaren responded to these upgrades and how well they're progressively doing, it might come down to that where it's really
Yeah, but I'm also like, it's in the past. So like, what's that saying that Max said? Well, if my mum was my dad, she would have balls too.
Yeah,
like,
that one.
A whole lot of if and buts.
Can he never retire? Like, I love his one-liners too much. Please don't leave.
I don't think he will. I think after this year, Max will be coming back for vengeance next year. He'll want the fierce competition, especially with like the proposal of what's happening with Williams and Aston Martin. And obviously going right up there. I think there's too much excitement happening for him to ever retire.
Yeah, it kind of wouldn't surprise me if Max ends up going to Mercedes, because it's taking Mercedes so long to announce something. I'm like, imagine.
Okay, so this was my
if
funny,
just in the works.
Funny moment.
No, say it at the end. Say it at the end, Elle.
Hissing myself, like.
No. Yeah, Elle has a funny moment that has to do with. Oh, do you want to say it now?
I'm just going to say it now because you just said the exact perfect segue into it. No
segue.
But I saw this post online saying that Toto Wolff carries around a contract for Max anytime he's willing to sign it. And I just like had this visual of like stern Toto Wolff walking around with like a piece of paper in his back pocket, like it's here.
Yeah, rolled up.
It's not funny,
I have it pictured like rolled up with a little bow on it.
Yes, and he's just walking around and he pulls it out like a wand from Harry Potter and being like, here you go, it's here.
Take it.
I don't know, it's not funny, but I just like get the visual of it, like how this post described it. I was just like, oh god.
Oh, too funny. What about Mr. Alex Albon? Disqualified.
Bit sad for him. What was it? His
so 3 millimeters too wide.
Was too wide.
Because the Williams car, they had a bunch of upgrades, and unfortunately, there's a bunch of things that would change on the car, but Mr. Albon was disqualified.
My thing with this one is that I'm not like surprised that he was disqualified. Also, that Williams should have known what the regulations are. Like, why would they build a floor that they know is 3 millimeters too high? Like, what are they trying to get away with?
Who's getting
Who
fired?
missed that?
I feel like that's a big margin to miss.
Yeah,
literally.
Who's losing their job?
Someone took an extra long summer break.
At Williams, because that was a massive miss.
Too many monkeys in their system.
Yeah. Their brain was still in Mallorca.
Yeah, it was definitely still in one of
I actually
yachts.
didn't even realise that Alex got
on Logan Sargent's little yacht.
on his tinny.
And he's, apparently little yacht.
But yes, poor Mr. Albon. But
he's a little baby.
Another top moment for the weekend. I'm just going to say this one because, I'm a Ferrari gal. Leclerc's unexpected podium. Do you know, I swear sometimes I am an oracle with things. I watched the race live.
It's a big call.
Yeah.
Did you?
He stays up late, but then he sleeps. I'm very lucky. Like, Gabriel has literally slept through the night since 6 weeks, so I can't complain. I'm very lucky, but he just goes to bed late, which is great for me and great for when the GP is on. But before the race, I was like, I just have a feeling that Leclerc's going to get a podium. And he did.
It's impressive considering that Ferrari is so slow at the moment. It's not slow, but it's not great at the moment. It's slow. And he held off Oscar for 30-something laps.
I feel like everyone was surprised about their results on the weekend. Everyone had a reaction after qualifying and then also after the race of it's not where I expected to be. Even Lando was like, that wasn't a perfect race. Everyone
they're
seemed
all
a
in
little
holiday
bit
mode still.
That was a surprise.
Yeah,
they were relaxing.
Well,
a snooze fest. Well, they get on the bloody month off after. Is it after Singapore? They have a whole month off again or something.
Yeah, it's a whole nother summer break.
Yeah. So wake the fuck up, guys. You got 9 races left of the season. You got one big one at the end. It's a triple header. Get over it. You're getting paid the money. I'm sorry.
Get up.
Exactly.
I would say Lando did do a good job over the weekend. In qualifying, he improved every single session. He was the only driver in the 109.6 in the 109s during qualifying. And I was like, you did well.
He did a great job.
And again, like we did mention, that 22.9 seconds.
All I'm saying is that every driver seemed to have an unexpected reaction to the weekend, whether it was good or bad. They were all just weren't expecting anything. George said he felt like he was thinking like rocks. Daniel Ricciardo was like, I wasn't expecting 15th, but then I also wasn't expecting to climb back to 12th. Everyone was
Max Verstappen's car wasn't turning.
I think as well because they do have that 4-week break and there is the forced shutdown for all the factory workers of 2 weeks. I'm sure that it is all, they are halfway through a season, but they are coming back into the season with a bit of a rusty almost. You would think they're refreshed, but they also haven't, going into the practice, they're not as fresh as what they normally would be in the season. That's my theory anyway. So they're probably all a bit
sorry, I've been on my yacht. I'm not refreshed. I ate too much lobster pasta.
Pretty much.
Fuck.
No, it would be nice, wouldn't it? I'd come back refreshed. Oh my god, delicious. I would jump into that car like my life depended on it.
No, I get what you're saying, Pat.
After being on yachts.
I was away for 4.5 weeks, and the last 2 weeks of the holiday was very much doing fuck all. We just sat by a pool, and then that last week, I'd broken my foot. For anyone that doesn't know that, I broke my foot,
you
really and then I really did nothing, and I just sat there for a week. But I was in the sun by the pool, but I just did nothing, and I came back exhausted. I was like, that first week back, I was like...
Yeah, you need a holiday from your holiday.
I'm dying. But I had done nothing.
All up, thoughts on the race, back from summer break. How are we feeling about the race?
Up, snooze fest.
I just thought it was a good intro back. It's let's just ease into it, and
soft
then
launch.
Fucking hammer and tong. Yeah, basically a soft launch. Hammer and tong next week. I think Ferrari... I call bullshit this weekend. I think they're lying. They have purposely made their car slow just so they can be fast in Monza, and everyone will be like, oh my god, they're so fast. Where did this come from? But
I think
they were working on the car secretly to have it prepped and ready for Monza. They're two races. Monaco, Monza.
Yeah.
Let's nail them.
Agreed.
And they'll do it.
That one. Lots to expect with Monza, but before we get into Monza predictions, what are the worst moments from the weekend?
Logan.
I feel so sorry for Logan. We all know I have a soft spot for Logan.
Yeah. I think everyone felt for him because I think
it was a big crash.
It's a big crash, and you can't see that. And part of me goes like, as I said at the start of this episode, I'm like, I'm sorry, you keep crashing, like not good enough. But a crash like that, and you see the fire, you get worried.
Yeah.
Scary.
Also, I'm pretty sure
the tires just looked like Lego pieces.
Didn't one of the back tires fly over the fence? I'm pretty sure one of the tires like flew over the fence. Yeah. So I was watching the replay and I was like, wait a second. Yeah. Like imagine being on the other side of that fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not something that you want to
F1
happen.
tire coming at you.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, so Logan Sargent. I think another thing is how poor Zhou Guanyu is to Bottas right now, especially in qualifying. He's just so far behind. And it's like, how can there be such a huge gap with teammates? But I mean, I guess we've got to have Max and Checo. What happened to Checo this weekend? Oh my God, I totally forgot about him.
Okay,
I totally forgot about Checo.
Someone put this on our question box the other day, and I completely agree with this point, that they're not going to announce anything to do with Checo until after the Mexican Grand Prix because of his fan base. If they announce that Checo is gone before the Mexican Grand Prix, yes, everyone's talking about it. If anything happens before the Mexican Grand Prix, there will be riots. He's got such a strong fan base.
Oh, for sure.
Strong fan base.
Yeah.
I actually think he might just retire on his own, to be honest. But anyway, we can move on.
He'll probably announce something.
Yeah. But Monza, predictions.
Interesting.
What are we thinking? What are we feeling?
Ferrari all the way.
Well, that's not me.
Yeah, Ferrari 1-2. I think Ferrari 1-2. I mean, I'm hoping for a Ferrari 1-2 or a Ferrari 1-3.
It's the fastest track of the calendar. I'm going to say McLaren. You know what? I'm going to go Oscar.
I was going to go Oscar as well. Yeah, I think
Oscar, Charles, Lando.
Yeah, I reckon we're looking at an Oscar, Charles. Why did I say Charles? I just said it like in Italian. Charles. I reckon it's going to be a battle between Max and Lando. For 4. I don't know.
Again.
Another one.
Yes. I reckon there's going to be a battle. Someone's going to have a DNF though. Someone's going to make it interesting.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. You look at the straight line speed that McLaren had this weekend. I just feel like they're going to drive well. And because Oscar will get all the upgrades. And hopefully he has a win that can be the win he deserves.
And if he gets the upgrades
that's what I want.
Lando had, well, we know that car is quick. So it'll be good to see.
Yep.
I was going to say, actually, I think that Oscar is the better driver.
Ooh. Yeah, I think so. I think
like he's getting there.
It's because he's more level-headed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got more of a higher EQ.
Yeah. Whereas Lando is very passionate.
Lando's
emotionally
unstable.
Invested. All right, it's Monday night. We're off. I think that's all we've got time for, clearly.
Thanks for listening, guys. It's good to be back, and next week we'll be back in the studio.
All things Monza.
Yes. We won't have
chatting all things
glitches
Monza.
And us being like, wait, you go.
No more online delays.
Yes, exactly.
No.
And I'll be in Melbourne.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
I'm in Sydney. Yay. Anyway. Bye, guys.
Bye.